Flyer frustration.
Our budget is tight and we don't know what to do.
Air Canada passengers stranded and unable to get answers as the strike at Canada's biggest airline continues. Dangers of UV radiation.
The UV that we receive is very different from the UV that we received 20 years ago.
A growing number of Canadians are faced with a skin cancer diagnosis. And cutting crime.
That preventative way of policing, I think, has really shown a lot of good results.
A neighborhood police initiative shows a double-digit drop in crime.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on television or on AM 800. Another day of travel turbulence as Air Canada flight attendants defy a back-to-work order and remain out on strike. A strike the Labour Relations Board today deemed illegal. Hundreds of flights have been cancelled, with hundreds of thousands of passengers stuck in limbo. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
For the third straight day, Air Canada flight attendants are on the pavement rather than in the skies, defying orders to return to work.
And if it means folks like me going to jail, then so be it. If it means our union being fined, then so be it.
The Canada Industrial Relations Board ordered the roughly 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants to return to work yesterday, after the federal jobs minister asked the Labour Board to intervene just hours into the strike.
When the government came in and tried to stop our strike 12 hours after we started, we decided that that was not enough to put pressure on Air Canada to come back to the table. That's all we want. Air Canada, come back to the table.
At issue, wages and unpaid work. Flight attendants are only paid for the hours they work in the air, which doesn't include boarding and other on-the-ground duties. The airline has offered a pay increase of 17.2% over 4 years, which the company's CEO calls an excellent offer.
That will result in our flight attendants being the best compensated flight attendants in Canada, bar none.
But the union says that increase doesn't account for inflation over the last decade.
Starting flight attendants now are making $1,900 a month in an area where rent is $2,000.
The job action has left roughly 500,000 passengers stranded, many unsure when they will be able to get home.
I'm supposed to start a job on Wednesday. That's not going to happen.
Today, the Prime Minister weighed in, calling the impasse disappointing.
I urge both parties to resolve this as quickly as possible, and the Minister will have more to say. Minister Hyde will have more to say later.
The union is challenging the back-to-work order in court, so it's unclear how much longer this strike might last. Some estimating it is costing the airline about $60 million a day. Heather Wright, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
The Labour impasse is having an impact on some 500,000 Canadians. Many of them are stranded in other countries, unable to get home. CTV's Chris Campbell has that angle of the story for us tonight. Chris.
Yes, Stephanie, for some families, the strike is creating heartache far beyond our borders. I talked to one man at the Windsor International Airport who was just beside himself, trying to find a way to get his mother home from Lebanon and can't get any answers because he says Air Canada's website keeps crashing.
Our budget is tight and we don't know what to do.
At Windsor International Airport, flights may look normal, but behind the check-in counters, Air Canada's flight attendant strike is leaving some travelers in limbo.
How long we can wait? We can wait like 10 days, 5 days, but I don't know when she will come back.
Mo Zugaib's mother has been stranded in Lebanon since Saturday when her flight to Montreal was suddenly cancelled. Now they're trying to get some answers and a way home.
So we were supposed to leave yesterday and land today, this morning, but we're now not scheduled to fly until Friday, landing on Saturday.
Others, like Emily from England, are stranded in Windsor, waiting for the strike to resolve.
Sure, it's fortunate in a way because we can spend more time with our family here. I think we're just lucky that we weren't on like a kind of like an all-inclusive or booking a hotel, because then it would be very difficult, and I think we'd be stressing a lot more than we are now.
It's a pretty fluid situation and dynamic, so check your connections, check where you're going, check the flight you're on, check all of your flight numbers to make sure that you know what's happening. And of course, obviously, if you get emails from the airline itself letting you know, that's also important.
Windsor International Airport President and CEO Mark Galvin says local flights aren't cancelled, but connecting passengers are feeling the effects. He urges everyone to keep checking their flight status as the situation can suddenly change.
Our phone's been ringing off the hook.
The president of Valente Travel, Al Valente, says it's been busy trying to keep up with the fluid situation, advising anyone caught up in the mix to not make any rash decisions.
This is just complete turmoil. That's all the word to describe it. It's a mess, but hopefully we'll get back to some normalcy in the next couple of days.
So for now, Stephanie, Windsor flights on Jazz are still running, but travelers connecting overseas or waiting to return home may be stuck for some time.
Okay, Chris Campbell, thank you for this tonight. So here's our question of the day. Who do you side with in this Air Canada labor dispute? Air Canada, the flight attendants, or are you undecided? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. On Friday, we asked if summer construction has impacted your commute. Out of almost 900 votes, 74% say yes. Now, with so many passengers scrambling, the escape hatches, of course, other carriers. But how are those airlines adjusting, and how pricey is the shift? As CTV News' Genevieve Beauchemin reports, finding a seat on other carriers is likely to be increasingly tough.
The search for an escape hatch from Air Canada has travelers looking for other means of transportation. But aboard planes, there's limited space, especially in peak summer season. And adding flights is not exactly a smooth ride for other carriers.
It's not like the TTC, the subway goes down or the metro goes down and you can add a bunch of buses right away. It doesn't quite work that way. And it's for a safety perspective. The other thing is you have to be able to get the gates at the airports.
Still, Porter, Air Transat and WestJet say they're looking at adding some flights on a few routes. In a statement, WestJet said that it is positioning larger aircraft onto key routes and working with airport partners, pilots and cabin crew to add a limited number of extra flights to help accommodate guests. Air Transat says to respond to strong demand, it's also adding some flights and using larger aircraft on some transatlantic routes. But safety regulations, including the availability of flight crews and hours they can fly, limits scaling up. Add that all in, and the cost of a ticket isn't cheap.
Well, it's going to be pricey. That's just the way it's going to be. All airline pricing is based on demand. The demand was high to begin with.
Air Canada is hard to replace in the short run. It handles 43% of Canada's domestic market, 50 million passengers annually. Charter flights like those that fly out of this small airport here outside of Montreal may pick up business, but that won't be cheap. There's also Via and buses on some routes, and there's also the cost of rental cars, but that's going up too. Genevieve Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
CTV meteorologist Julie Atchison joining us now for a first look at the weather. And Julie, it is looking clear moving into this evening.
Yeah, gorgeous conditions, Stephanie, across the area. Today was one of those picture-perfect Goldilocks kind of days. It wasn't too hot, not too cool. We started nice and fresh this morning, and our air quality was good this afternoon. Temperatures holding in the mid-20s, and that's where we'll stay over the next hour. By about 8 o'clock, we're down to 22. Still dealing with a bit of humidity, but comfortable. Feeling close to 30 degrees on the hour, so upper 20s. As we head over the next few hours, you mentioned clear conditions. We are looking at a bit of cloud cover coming in from the west. We will see a warm front arrive tomorrow, but it won't roll in until mid-morning. So we do have some showers in the forecast. Watch for a bit of fog out there overnight. I'll take you through the extended forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Today's ultraviolet index registers at 9 or very high. That level of UV can damage your skin and possibly develop into cancer over time. The local health unit is reminding the public to be cautious of some unusual places cancer can develop on the skin.
The UV that we receive is very different from the UV that we received 20 years ago.
The Windsor Essex County Health Unit's medical officer of health, Dr. Mehdi Alouche, says since the 1990s, the Earth's ozone layer, which acts as a natural sunscreen for the planet, is getting smaller and smaller. The result, greater exposure to ultraviolet radiation.
Not all people are in the same boat in terms of risk factors. Some people are at high risk. Children, adolescents, people with lighter skin color, lighter hair color, and those who are working outside or have pleasure outside doing sport activities are at high risk because of the exposure. If you have a family history of skin cancer, if we have a lot of moles in our body, if we are immunocompromised, using some medications, or we have underlying disease conditions.
Alouche says although the face, neck, chest, back, and legs are the most common areas to get skin cancer, it can also develop in your eyes, under your fingernails, on the palms of your hands, soles of your feet, inside the ear, and on the lips.
How we can prevent them, staying in the shade, putting sunscreen, don't go out during the maximum UV light, which is 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and stay in the shade as much as possible.
Melanoma is one of the deadliest forms of cancer. In 2024, an estimated 11,300 Canadians were diagnosed with melanoma and 1,300 died from it. If you have a mole on your body or several, it's important to conduct skin checks by using the ABCDEs of melanoma. A is for asymmetry. If one half of the spot is unlike the other half, that could be a concern. B is for border. Have it checked if the spot has an irregular or poorly defined border. C is for color. An abnormal spot will have varying colors from one area to the next, with shades of tan, brown, or black, or areas of white, red, or blue. D is for diameter. While melanomas are usually greater than 6 millimeters, or about the size of a pencil eraser, when diagnosed, they can be smaller. And E is for evolving. The spot looks different from the rest or is changing in size, shape, or color. Have it checked out. Alouche says there is, however, some good news.
Skin cancer is one of the most preventable cancer.
Stellantis has laid off about 100 workers at the Windsor assembly plant. A company spokesperson confirms the decision is due to what they call volume adjustments. Unifor Local 444 says the plant has found itself overstaffed and work is underway to find jobs for the affected members. The plant is at the start of a 2-week summer shutdown. Earlier this year, Stellantis paused production of the electric Dodge Charger, citing U.S. tariff and poor electric vehicle sales. The beer store is shutting down 12 more locations, including the one in Harrow. The closures go into effect at the end of the business day on October 19th. Essex Mayor Sherry Bondi says the announcement caught her off guard and it's a busy location. 2 locations in Windsor closed back in July, and the beer store in Ridgetown is closing September 14th. $39,000 worth of property was stolen from a home in Wallaceburg. Chatham-Kent police say it happened on Friday in the early morning hours at a home on James Street. Police say an unknown number of suspects went into the home while the owner was sleeping. A TV, a camera, and a 2024 red Chevrolet Malibu were reportedly stolen. The vehicle has since been recovered. The Essex BIA is alerting businesses about counterfeit cash being used in downtown Essex and urging stores to stay diligent. There are 8 ways to identify a counterfeit bill, including its texture, raised ink, and the number in the transparent window. The serial number is also a good indicator if it's bogus or not. Anyone coming across counterfeit cash should contact OPP. It's been 1 year since Windsor Police launched a targeted crime reduction initiative in a downtown apartment building, establishing a shared space in the building with police, CMHA, and family services. So how successful was it? Bob Pelachico investigated. Now, Bob, there's promising news for both police and as well as the community.
Yeah, Stephanie, these are pretty solid numbers. The new numbers show that there's a double-digit drop in crime, which officials feel is proof that this project is having a real impact.
And we've seen a significant decrease in crime, which was our goal.
A year after launching a targeted public safety initiative in the Glengarry neighborhood, the Windsor Police Service reports the area has seen a dramatic shift, with crime dropping across the board. Check this. The year-over-year improvements, according to Windsor Police: crimes against people down 38%, crimes against property down 45%, drug crimes down 63%, calls for service down 14%, and the number of total arrests up by 33%. During the process, officials say relationships have been built with healthcare providers, social services agencies, and the Windsor-Essex Community Housing Corporation.
And most importantly, I would argue with Windsor Police in building relationships with folks that live in our units and that live in our community. That preventative way of policing, I think, has really shown a lot of good results.
It was really helpful to allow residents to have that access to resources in real time and see change immediately.
Despite those efforts, residents in the area say there is still some work to do.
Police is working all night and the security too working all night, but still we're scared. So I'm calling government at least to help us to do something.
You're smoking a crack pipe. Why don't turn from that? I see this every single day.
Downtown City Councillor Ronaldo Agostino sympathizes with Glengarry residents and hopes to see more supports to tackle the broader mental health and addictions crisis.
The people that need the help the most, that I see on a day-to-day basis, that are just out there in the middle of the street doing things to themselves that no sane human being would do, right? And that's something we need to address.
Now, because of the initial success of this project, Windsor Police was able to roll out the initiative to other neighborhoods across the city and plan on continuing to do so. Stephanie?
Good to know. Okay, Bob Belichico tonight. Thank you for this, Bob. Switching gears now, check out these incredible photos of lightning snapped just east of Tilbury. This shot was taken last Tuesday night around 11 by Barb Arsenault. You can see a massive bolt strike a turbine on the outskirts of town. Arsenault shared the photo in a local storm watchers group where many pointed out just how perfectly timed it was. It also had us thinking about the challenges of capturing such a rare moment. Here's what one photographer who has taken lightning photos in the past had to say.
This area, Essex County, is one of the best. It's got the most lightning strikes in Canada per year, just the way we are situated. Sometimes lightning does sort of strike twice in the same place, even though we're told it doesn't. So in the rough area, you can see lightning and you can set your camera up and sort of point in a general direction. But like anything, when you seem to point one direction, you get a nice big lightning bolt off to the left or right. So there's a bit of luck involved, but the more you're out there, the greater opportunity you have of shooting some lightning.
Still ahead on Windsor's News Leader, a high-stakes meeting between Mark Carney and Doug Ford. From housing to trade tensions with Trump looming large. What was said behind closed doors? And later, celebrities, comfort food, and small-time charm. A Windsor filmmaker is serving up a new series called Landmarks and Lunch, putting local communities in the spotlight. And tomorrow, Ontario doctors are negotiating with the provincial government, trying to get so-called good faith billing restored. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. There is a growing call for justice and change following the death of an 18-year-old boy in Toronto killed by a stray bullet.
Which just made me sick. There's too many innocent people being shot, and this has to end.
8-year-old Jave Roy was in bed with his mother around 12:30 Saturday morning when the shots were fired. Police have made an appeal for witnesses. The family has started a GoFundMe to help cover the costs of his funeral. The Prime Minister got together with Ontario's Premier in Ottawa today. With the ongoing trade war and no new Canada-U.S. trade deal in sight, the two had quite a bit to discuss. CTV's Rachel Aiello on Doug Ford's push for Mark Carney to cut red tape and taxes to ease the burden many businesses are currently facing.
What would you like to talk to Mark Carney about today?
Oh, we just have a lot of things.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford arrived on Parliament Hill today with lots to talk to Prime Minister Mark Carney about.
Well, we'll talk about the housing sector, we'll talk about steel, auto, new sectors of the economy, including artificial intelligence, what we're doing in terms of making Canada competitive.
It was their first face-to-face meeting since the latest round of trade talks with U.S. President Donald Trump fell apart.
We know President Trump's unpredictable. We have to find out what we need to do to make sure that we create the environment and conditions for companies from around the world to continue investing in Canada.
Yeah.
And we'll have that discussion.
I think we're working well together, but we've got more to do and get it done.
Both emerged from behind closed doors an hour later, saying they were on the same page.
Very good meeting with the Premier.
But they were non-committal about any immediate action that would put money back into businesses' bank accounts or ease regulatory burdens while they're still facing tariffs.
We had a great discussion. Nothing happens immediately in that room.
It remains murky where trade talks stand, but for his part, Ford has no plans to travel to Washington anytime soon.
When they need me, I'll be down there, giving my colleague Howard Lutnick a little poke.
Oh, do you think he needs one?
He needs a couple more pokes than me. Don't worry, I'll poke him.
Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc was in the room for the meeting, but left without answering reporters' questions about the state of negotiations with the Americans. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meantime, voters in an Alberta riding are casting their ballots in a by-election today that's being watched across the country. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is running in the riding of Battle River Crowfoot in an effort to regain a seat in the House of Commons. Poilievre is expected to win this by-election as the riding is considered to be a Conservative stronghold.
I don't think he'll do anything for us because he'll just be another puppet.
I think he's perfect to represent this riding.
He's going back to Ottawa or Ontario and staying there. He doesn't care about us.
The by-election was triggered when former MP Damien Currick stepped down to allow Poilievre to run. In addition to Poilievre, there are 213 other candidates running in this riding because of a protest group called the Electoral Reform. That means voters will have to write in the name of their preferred candidate rather than checking a box. The fall migration period for birds is underway, which means millions of species will be flying south over the next few months. Now, the pass-through can be a dangerous time for birds, so conservationists in Calgary recommend one small change that will help them out. CTV's Tim Brutch explains.
To most humans, it's a beautifully lit cityscape worth taking a photo of. But other species look at it a little differently.
Birds get distracted. Ooh, shiny, and they turn their way into the city. And once the birds are in the city, a number of things can happen.
The fall migratory season for birds has kicked off, and our lights can lead to a dangerous turn.
They might see those interior lights and think it looks like a nice open forest, and they see the surrounding windows and think that's the trees they need to avoid, so they might fly directly into that light.
More than 16 million birds die from window strikes every year in Canada, and this year has already been more deadly than usual, largely thanks to a change in weather patterns causing an early migration.
Between August 9th and 13th last year, we had 11 birds. And the same time period this year, we've had 38. So even if you look at that small window of time, it's much, much higher than last year.
So a simple request. Conservationists want Calgarians to switch off their lights each night from 11 o'clock to 6 a.m. That will help birds differentiate between pass-throughs and obstacles.
It is the easiest thing in the world to do. Just flip a switch, and it's going to make a huge difference.
There are also simple daytime changes that could protect migrating species.
So now is a really critical time to people to mark their windows to prevent them from being death sentences for the birds migrating. But the markings have to be close together, 2 inches apart, like we have on the window here.
Tim Brook, CTV News, Calgary.
A Bell River man who walked into a store to buy a cigar left with $5 million. David McDonald says he's been playing the lottery since he was 19. He says he played the ticket while he was still in the store and started shaking, his legs feeling when he realized that he won. His wife's reaction, she asked if this means she can retire. A new report from Equifax Canada shows 1.4 million Canadians missed a credit payment in the second quarter. While that's up by 118,000 compared with the same time last year, it's a slight drop from the first quarter. Officials say younger people are facing increasing financial challenges. Their average non-mortgage debt rose 2% to more than $14,000 from a year ago. The agency says there's still a financial gap between homeowners and non-homeowners as unemployment grows and economic uncertainty persists. Meantime, Statistics Canada is set to publish its July inflation data this week. And economists will be looking at how businesses are passing the higher costs from tariffs onto consumers. The July data will be published tomorrow after the numbers for June showed annual inflation increased to 1.9%. Economists say tariffs likely kept inflation higher for food and durable goods. There is also a belief that the Bank of Canada will need to see more easing of inflation before cutting interest rates again. Canada's main stock index saw small gains to finish today's trading session. In Toronto, the TSX gained 17 points. In New York, the Dow fell 34, the Nasdaq added 7. The Canadian dollar dropped by just 1/100 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold lost $4.60 an ounce and oil gained 72 cents a barrel. After an unthinkable tragedy, a grieving family turns their pain into purpose, pushing for water safety and swimming lessons for kids.
Many of our CTV Windsor viewers have been sending in snapshots of their vacations through the summer, so keep those coming in, and I'll share as many as I can in the, throughout the week. Thank you to Douglas for this photo. This was taken at Arrowhead Provincial Park. Showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for your Tuesday afternoon. I'll have your local weather details coming up.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app. From moment to moment, things change.
Mayday! We need more crews at this location.
CTVNewsWindsor.ca is Windsor's #1 source for online news. Watch every story from wherever you are, the moment it happens. Plus exclusive content and must-see viewer video. Don't miss a moment. Windsor's leading online news source, CTVNewsWindsor.ca.
A refreshing breeze today. Julie joins me again for an extended look.
Thanks so much. It was gorgeous this afternoon. Lots of sunshine out there. Beautiful way to start the week with lower humidity. Conditions feel gorgeous this evening. If you get a chance after the show to head out for an evening walk, it'll be a perfect night for that. The temperature is starting to come down. Comfortable conditions overnight, but we will start to see some cloud cover move in and the risk of fog. So we are looking at a warm front that's bringing some rainfall to areas off to the west. You can see just the leading edge of this action associated with a surface low pressure system. That'll be moving in tomorrow through the day. So we'll introduce the opportunity for a little rainfall. I know it's been extremely dry and many of you hoping for some rain. We do have some rain, measurable rain tomorrow, under 5 millimeters, but enough to bring us a nice push of rainfall. And it will be more of a slow and steady rain that'll be moving through the area. And that'll be starting at around 10 a.m. until about 1 p.m. That'll be the warm front slowly lifting its way through. Then we get into the warm sector, and that's the instability and the possibility of a pop-up thunderstorm warm in the afternoon. So we remain under the influence of high pressure tonight. Skies are mainly clear, and then overnight the clouds will start to thicken. Quickly across the country, it's been a fairly quiet day coast to coast. A couple of warnings to mention. The one I wanted to talk about was in through northern New Brunswick. It's a frost advisory for tonight, so that's just giving us an idea of the season ahead. So today, probably thought it felt nice and fresh, almost fall-like this morning. As we head back into tomorrow, we're expecting the warmth to return. So as the warm front starts to come in, some scattered showers and thunderstorms develop. Possibility of a thunderstorm moving through, and that could lead to a heavy downpour as we get into that warm sector in the afternoon. And then the rainfall lingering just a bit as we head into Wednesday, but the probability drops off. So through the day tomorrow, in the afternoon, about a 70% chance of rain, and then heading into Wednesday, that probability drops down to a 40% chance. Overnight, 17 to 18 degrees right across Essex County. Couple spots could dip to 16, but it will stay on the warmer side. Still great, though, to keep the windows open. Starting your day tomorrow at 17 degrees, 27 with showers in the afternoon, and the wind shifting back to the south. Our Sliles heating and cooling forecast for Wednesday. The chance of showers, likely won't see a measurable rain on Wednesday. That'll be your Tuesday weather story. And then Thursday into Friday, we're back into full sunshine. Beautiful both those days, rather. Daytime highs anywhere from 28 to 30 degrees. 29 under a mix of sun and cloud on Saturday. Chance for showers on Sunday, and back into a mix of sun and cloud on Monday. Bit of a cool down coming Sunday into Monday, and with that changeover from Saturday to Sunday, possibility of some thunderstorms. So 27 degrees, feeling like the low 30s tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers developing with the risk of afternoon thunderstorms. Stefanie, back to you.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
Drownings are a tragic reminder of the importance of water safety. The family of two siblings who drowned in Dryden, Ontario at the end of July is advocating for more awareness and swimming lessons for young children. CTV's Alex Karpa on their plea.
They were really close. He loved his little sister.
July 30th, 2025 was a day Stacey Grant will never forget.
That phone call, I replay it in my head every day. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. It should never have happened.
15-year-old Caden Grant and his 12-year-old sister Jocelyn drowned in the Wabigoon River in Dryden, Ontario. Stepmother Heather Dodd says Jocelyn fell in first.
When she submerged, her brother, who also did not have very strong swimming skills, went in after her to try to rescue her. And unfortunately, he succumbed to the water as well.
Approximately 460 people fatally drown in Canada each year. This according to the Life Saving Society of Canada, and over 50 of those are children under the age of 14. To combat this, the family is launching a foundation called Water Wings. It's aimed at raising awareness about the importance of water safety for school-aged children. Grandfather Michael Williams is now petitioning Ontario Premier Doug Ford to bring swimming lessons back into the elementary school curriculum.
The problem is that it's being offered only as an opt-in basis, whereas I think it should be the other way around. It should be opt-out. So it should be a negative option. So schools have to do it unless they have a valid reason why they can't do it.
Heather says she will do anything she can to bring forth awareness.
You don't want to be in our position. You don't want to ever feel what we feel.
Stacey, Heather, and Michael are hoping their family's story will help prevent future tragedies so others won't have to go through the same grief they are currently experiencing. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Physicians are reporting seeing a growing number of non-smokers developing lung cancer. The Canadian Cancer Society estimates a quarter of people living with lung cancer have never smoked. The society says exposure to radon is the #1 cause of the disease among non-smokers. Health Canada says the gas is present to some degree in every home and urges Canadians to check levels with a radon test kit. Secondhand smoke and air pollution are also risk factors. Backpack bonus coming up on Windsor's News Leader, helping kids start the school year off right.
Get ready to rock the runway. Enter today's keyword at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Noah Khan at Rock the Runway in London, Friday, September 12th, plus an overnight stay.
Gearing up for another school year can be costly for families, but a Windsor nonprofit is helping make ends meet.
People are really surprised that their kids are getting back-to-school running shoes, haircuts, things that they otherwise might not get or that they'd have to really stretch to figure out.
The first annual YQG Kids Back to School event provided supplies for more than 150 students. From new shoes, class supplies, and even hygiene products, everything was free of charge. Donations helped supply these often costly items for students in underprivileged neighborhoods. Organizers say the goal is to help kids start the new year on the right foot.
This is something that is needed and necessary because by starting our kids off on the right foot and as they go back to school this September, it's really going to propel them into positivity. And that's the key. A lot of kids feel it's a drag to go back to school, especially if they don't have the right supplies or the right things that they need to start their school year off right.
A group of Canadian filmmakers are serving up something fresh with the premiere of Landmarks and Lunch, a charming new original series that takes audiences on a journey across small-town Ontario through the eyes and appetites of 4 beloved Canadian personalities. The series pairs heartfelt conversations with iconic local landmarks and meaningful meals. We spoke with one of the producers behind the show, which debuts this Thursday only on Bell 5 TV1.
In the quiet corners of small towns, we meet remarkable Canadians.
Nice to meet you.
In unforgettable places.
Fire! I've had people who've seen it so far kind of compare it to like a Canadian version of Comedians in Cars and Coffee kind of thing. Let's meet up with a notable Canadian celebrity. Let's go to a small town. Let's talk to them about their career, what they've been up to, and eventually kind of tie in the idea of a nostalgic meal. What is that comfort food that they like? And let's watch them prepare and talk to our host about it and kind of have some witty banter along the way.
Each episode pairs personal stories with a plate of comfort.
The conversations ran a bit more organically than I thought. These are people who have been interviewed over and over again, so you think it'd be kind of like the same few things, but if you tune in, you're going to hear some information, some fun stories that I don't think they've said publicly before. We have 4 great guests. We started off with Kevin McDonald, and he goes to this Fort Malden. We have Rob Well from Trailer Park Boys, and he's going to be out at the Grove Motel. Then we're with Suki and Lee from Much Music fame out at the Retro Suites in Chatham. And then we finish off with local Richard Petty and go visit him in Amherstburg and his shops out there. Tune in to see some insight and some good conversation and some delicious meals.
And it's been weeks since rising American pop sensation Chappell Roan dropped a song that name-drops Saskatchewan. And ever since that unexpected shout-out, there's been a boost in Saskatchewan's tourism industry. CTV's Allison Bamford reports.
These 4 words in a breakup ballad put Saskatchewan on the map.
This is the kind of thing that you'd have to spend millions of dollars to be able to create this kind of awareness.
American pop singer Chappell Roan released her latest single, The Subway, late last month, prompting a spike in Google searches with the word Saskatchewan.
It's an opportunity to be playful and just have a good time and not take ourselves too seriously, and we love opportunities like that.
Tourism groups are leveraging the spotlight with their own campaigns, and the buzz even made its way into one of Jimmy Fallon's late-night talk show bits.
Chappell Roan's new song, The Subway, has sparked a tourism boom in Saskatchewan.
Travel marketing experts say it's not uncommon for pop culture to influence tourist destinations.
The performing arts, they have an emotional connect with us. And travel is a very emotional thing, right? When you think about the reasons why, especially for leisure travel, why you go pick certain destinations over others, it's because you have some type of connection that you feel.
As for the Pink Pony Club singer's connection to the lyric,
it rhymed.
She shared her feelings towards the province in a recent interview with Apple Music's Zane Lowe.
I've never been there, but I promise I will perform there one day.
I don't know that I could afford Chappell Roan tickets in this economy, but I sure would have to figure out a way to do that because that sounds awesome.
Hype around one potential concert that could lead to many more visitors exploring the province. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Do you have a story idea you think we should cover? Drop us a line or text us at 10400. We do want to hear from you.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. It's time to assemble in support of Cystic Fibrosis Canada at Superheroes Unite, Saturday, August 30th from noon until 4 p.m. at the Serbian Center. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, you've got more for us on that incredible photo of a lightning strike that was captured at the perfect moment.
That's right, Stephanie. We spoke with a local photographer who says when it comes to capturing lightning, it takes patience, planning, and a little bit of luck. Donnie Moore has been a photographer for nearly 20 years. He says he tracks storm systems on radar and waits for just the right moment to catch a strike. But he says even with experience, it's something that can be quite dangerous.
As it gets closer, I can get out of the way and move. And then the secondary, you can watch the back end of the storm. So once the heaviness of the storm, you take shelter. And then the storm, as it passes, you can take shots as it's going behind you. So if you're shooting in the west, when the storm passes, you can turn around and shoot in the east.
You can submit your photos to Weather Snapshot at ctv.ca.
And we've also got a story online, Melanie, about a respiratory outbreak at a long-term care center, this time in Chatham.
Yes, an outbreak has been declared at Unit 3 at Riverview Gardens. This outbreak marks the second illness in less than a month. All visitors to the unit are required to wear a surgical mask, which will be provided at all entrances. You can find the guidelines on our website. And in our social spotlight, when you think you're getting a cute cat video. Well, that escalated fast. The cat was looking so sweet and cuddly, then it's like, nope, and brings out the teeth.
I do not have a cat, but those teeth do look vicious.
Yeah, it can turn in a second.
Okay, thank you, Melanie, and that's what's happening now.
3, 2, 1, go!
When we return, who can eat the most donuts in Windsor? 11 competitors, one sweet prize, and a whole lot of sugar.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
Joining us again for one last look at the weather is Julie.
Thanks so much, Stephanie. Heading into tomorrow, the humidity creeping back in ever so slowly with a warm front coming with some showers and the possibility of an afternoon thunderstorm. 27 over the next couple of days. We're back to full sunshine Thursday and Friday. 28 to 30. A mix of sun and cloud on Saturday. Could see some showers moving in Sunday with the passage of a cold front and a mix of sun and cloud on Monday. The daytime high early next week, 24. So temperatures are starting to slowly drop off just a bit, but we still have some nice summer weather to get through and the chance of showers tomorrow afternoon. Stephanie, back to you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Julie. Ricardo, what's going on for tonight?
Well, we're getting a view of the national housing picture tonight, Stephanie. The Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation reporting that construction is picking up, but not fast enough to meet the country's housing needs, as housing affordability remains at crisis levels in many places across the country. So we'll take a look at that and, of course, much more on the way tonight at 11. Steph.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now, it's a tall task for even those who can stomach it. Listen to this. 11 competitors in Windsor rolled up their sleeves on Sunday to see who could eat the most donuts. On the line was a year's supply of sweet treats. Here's a look at the challenge and some advice from the champion.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
It's our second annual Mr. Puffs eating contest. It was a great turnout, and it's always impressive to see how many of those things people can stuff down their throat.
I like to eat. I do all the all-you-can-eats anywhere I go. Chicken wings, all-you-can-eat shrimp, competition cheeseburgers. You name it, I like to eat, man.
We have our champion!
don't throw up. Jaw was hurting, but just keep going. I don't know, just if you got to stop, stop. Take your time, but soak them in water and smush them. That's what I did, and it seemed to work, so we got her.
These types of events are great because we can get the community involved. It's all about community involvement, getting people out from their houses through social media, through the power of social media, and hosting these great events.
Ricardo, my stomach is twisting and turning by just watching this event.
And some of the technique there. I mean, it's never been my jam, you know, no pun intended.
Yeah.
To be, you know, stuffing donuts into my face or any of the competition, competitive eating. I don't know how Joey Chestnut does it, but, you know, we got a champion here and spoken like a true champion. We got her.
Just the strategy, though, like the dump or putting the Timbit in the water, the hot dogs in the water.
Yeah. You got to get it down any way you can, right? It's a sport. There's technique to it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to the champion.
Well done.
We'll see how next year goes, right? Maybe we'll get more than 11 competitors next time.
No vomit. We heard this time around, so that's good. That's the mark of a successful competition.
Yes. Okay, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching. For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we'll see you again tonight at 11 for a late look at local news.
Good night.